Every time. Every damn time.
Last year's award show was kind of insane. Like, they revealed the Xbox Series X at that event, which was wild. I can't actually remember much else that happened at that event.
Yeah, but there were things that happened.
I always blend them together. Like, I was like, 2 years ago they did Bayonetta 3, and it turns out that was 3 years ago.
Like 3 years ago,
yeah. So stuff like that. But Keighley always manages to sneak in some big announcements. So yeah, let's have fun. Let's see what we can get right and wrong.
I mean, shall we save the game of the year for last, probably? But let's maybe fly through some.
Okay, so first, what are your like one or two announcements outside of the
you mean
awards?
Actual game announcements?
What do you think will happen?
Shit, now I'm on the spot. I didn't even think about that. I thought we were just gonna do some nominees here. I think
we'll get a Ratchet and Clank release date.
Okay.
And
what else?
I think we'll see Microsoft's initiative project for the first time. So they've had this.
What's that?
The studio that they called the Initiative that's been working on the game for like 3 years, and they haven't revealed it.
They'll show
there's
it,
more and more leaks coming out about it, and I think we'll get a reveal finally.
Oh boy!
I definitely think Microsoft has to show something in lieu of them saying, "Yeah, Halo Infinite's not going to be there." They've really, man. Every time I see a commercial for Xbox, there was one this week where it was like Master Chief playing with a dog. It's like, man, they really fucking thought Infinite was going to be out by now. I feel super bad for them.
I mean, yeah.
Because they are getting, like, the Series X is a great console, but every time I hear someone talk about it, they're like, all I'm doing is playing games I've already played.
Existing games, yeah. And again, like we've said, PlayStation's got ample choice at the moment. It's like between
it's not even just like
Miles
one good
Morales,
launch game. It's
Demon
like
Souls
good
and,
variety. Yeah.
It's some stuff. Okay, I think that we will get if not just a trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, a release date for it.
Fuck yes.
I think that game's coming out next year.
I think so too. Yeah. Nintendo needs to start.
It's 2021. It'll be like 4 years since the first Breath of the Wild came out. I think that's ample time to, put together a really good sequel. Mm-hmm. And maybe I don't think this will happen, but I'd love to see just a trailer or a tease for the next Final Fantasy 7 parts.
Oh, interesting. I thought you were going to say for 16.
No, I think 16 we've seen a trailer. We haven't seen gameplay, right?
No, there was gameplay in that trailer.
Yeah, but we haven't seen like actual. Here's the combat system, whatever. So maybe something Final Fantasy related. I think that would be announced.
A part 2 stinger would be cool.
Yeah, like even just a cinematic setting up. Like we know what the story.
Maybe they're just so Aerith dying again.
No, don't do that. But yeah, those are, I'd say, two cool announcements I'd love to see.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild 2 though, man, I need that game in my life.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay,
especially because I guess I played a little bit of the Age of Calamity. Game's fun.
Oh yeah,
game's
good
cool.
Time.
Story's weird, but game's fun.
Did you pick up your game because you played the demo, or did you start again?
No, I started again because I couldn't remember how the combat worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just murdered moblins.
Moblin Murder Simulator. That's what that game is. We'll save Game of the Year for last, but maybe let's just run down this list.
And I don't think we need to go through all the esports shit.
Oh, what are you talking about? We've got esport predictions. No, I'm kidding. We don't have
There's so many esports awards as well.
So many. Okay. So best game direction. Do you have the website open?
Oh, sorry. Let me do that.
You just do your thing, but I can read these out for you so long. So best game direction awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2. See, it's actually very difficult doing this, and I regret suggesting it because now when I'm down to it, I'm like, I don't know. It's so good. Like, so awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Like, immediately I'm drawn to the likes of, say, Hades, because I think that just stands out as something very different. But then I'm also like, Ghost of Tsushima looked pretty AF, feudal Japan and those beautiful tree colors and the wind and everything. Super nice. But I haven't played Half-Life Alyx, so I can't really comment there.
Yeah.
And obviously, The Last of Us Part 2, just visually, what a game.
I'm
The same for
I'm
the
torn
7
here
remake.
because like when I read this category, it's like, yes, it's like a visual direction and a game direction. So I'm thinking of like the actual design. And when I think of those two, it's between like Hades and Half-Life Alyx for me, because like Hades found a way to develop like a persistent story that incorporates the roguelike elements of the game, which is really clever. And then Alex just like, set the bar for like cinematic VR games. Just like Half-Life 2 or like Half-Life was the benchmark for narrative first-person shooters. It does the same thing.
Well, I think let's just remember that it's not games that we want to win; it's games that we think will.
That's true.
Will win. So, like, I don't know. In this category, I think at the way I feel at the moment, I'd probably lean into Hades. And I don't know. I almost feel like it might win. I think Hades is like this game that came out of nowhere, and it's actually been spoken about by plenty people. So I would love to see it win in this category.
I actually think Ghost of Tsushima is going to win.
You reckon?
Even though I don't think out of these nominees it is the one I would pick to win, but I think it will win. I think the one that I would like to win that won't will be Half-Life Alyx for sure.
Okay.
I think Half-Life Alyx is going to get fucking snubbed hard. I mean, the fact that it's not even nominated for Game of the Year is already like really irritating. But yeah. Anyway.
Okay. I'm actually going to I'm making a spreadsheet here quickly. I want to keep track of this. Hang on. So this is you, Alessandro.
So I think,
Matty.
I think Ghost of Tsushima.
So you saying Ghost of Tsushima, I'm saying Hades. And I'll come back to this at some stage. And between you and I, we can see who actually won. Best narrative.
Best narrative between...
Outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game.
Between 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. I really need to play this. Loads of people keep talking about this.
I have no idea what this game even is. I must look into it.
I think it's like a turn-based anime game.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we've got... So you're going to be hearing these 4 names a lot.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Last of Us Part 2. I think this one's easy for me.
It's Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to win as well. Okay. Like, I don't see any other game coming close to that in terms of the votes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look, I think I agree with you in that I 100% think it's going to be The Last of Us 2, but like I personally can see merits for others, but hands down, Last of Us 2 will be
like I'm like I like the story in Hades, and Final Fantasy VII Remake is a classic, but Ghost of Tsushima didn't really affect me. Well, I haven't finished it all, but it didn't really affect me in the same way.
No, narrative wise, I think it's like one of the weaker entries, like personally compared to the others.
But Last of Us Part 2 was a real risk in so many ways. So I don't see it losing. Like I really don't see it losing.
Okay. Best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievements in artistic design and animation.
This one's hard.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, The Last of Us Part 2.
Jesus.
And good Lord, this is a hard one for sure, because I think anyone who knows me would say like, I'd probably default to Ori and the Will of the Wisps, purely because like that game is a work of art. But as I've mentioned before, Ghost of Tsushima, for example, is such a beautiful rendition of like feudal Japan. Final Fantasy VII Remake has no business looking as good as it does on a PS4
Definitely
and running that well. And then like I don't know if I mentioned Hades. Hades is just dope as shit. Like,
Hades has just got such a distinct style to it.
Like a real style. And then The Last of Us Part 2 is just, it's that realism and that
technical tour de force.
Oh my gosh, this is
because they combine technical and creative, which they should, because I always hated it when awards are like technical art direction and creative art direction. It's like it's the same thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I have to think that I would love, like, purely purely because it's not nominated in many other categories. I'd love to see Ori win. But I have to think, like you pointed out, the fact that it's a combination of creative and technical achievement, like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I think
The Last of Us takes it. Yeah.
This one. Yeah.
To me,
breaks my heart.
To me, it would probably be between Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us.
Yeah. It really breaks my heart, actually, because these games are all phenomenal.
They're all so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely could see a case where like Ori wins. Like if Ori wins, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Actually, any of these games winning would make sense
Ori,
to me.
If you can take a screenshot of any part of Ori and it's like a work of art.
Yeah.
There's that much detail.
The fluidity to that game. Like,
it's too good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sticking with The Last of Us 2. I just think if they look at the technical and creative side combined, then
I'm trying to think.
That thing on a PS4 is just insane.
I think Ghost of Tsushima is going to win.
You think Ghost of Tsushima? Okay,
the whole like color and stuff of that game, like, yeah, I think it's going to win.
Okay. Best score and music. See, this is another tricky one.
So it's outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, or licensed soundtrack. So this has Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us 2.
Again, really difficult category. So just from my experience, I mean, so The Last of Us Part 2, I think I haven't gone and listened to the soundtrack at all. Like, while I played the game, like, really good score, but I'm thinking of music that I listened to long after the fact, like what left the biggest impression on me. And in this category, I can't say Doom Eternal, like, because I appreciate it with the game, but I can't really listen to that music in isolation.
I haven't listened to that soundtrack like I listen still to this day to the 2016 one. To me, it's not on the same level.
But Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, and Ori, I'm like, shit. It's difficult because Hades, like, I don't know, I just think of them all and I'm like, oh my god, they're so good. But for me, it's between Final Fantasy VII Remake and Ori, because Ori is just Gareth Coker being
he's incredible.
Gareth Coker. He just puts together such incredible music, and that it like really sticks with you forever.
And he's doing the soundtrack to Halo Infinite, which has me so stoked. Yeah,
that's awesome. But then Final Fantasy VII Remake is so interesting because it takes existing music, like existing songs, and it just, I mean, I don't know if you've from what you've played of the game, I don't know how far along you have to be to listen to, most of the soundtrack, but the music throughout this game is like astounding.
Yeah,
they've taken,
it is.
It's not even a thing of like they remade one song. They take a song and they give it different forms depending on like the boss you're fighting, what's happening in the battle, and it's just insane.
I mean, the earliest example of that is just at the beginning, before you've even faced the Scorpion tank, you hear that the Shinra music, and it's been remixed in a way where it's like way slowed down. The tempo is much slower, but you can still hear that distinct rhythm to it. It's really something.
What's really cool is that even throughout the soundtrack, there are some instances where there are 2 or 3 songs like overlapped with each other.
Yeah.
You'll be fighting a Turk. You'll be like, oh, I hear the Turk theme. Oh, wait, I hear the Shinra theme. Oh, wait, there's also this theme. And it's like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
So
no, it is incredible.
Man.
I think Remake's going to win.
I'll say I'm leaning towards Remake for this one. As much as I love Ori,
I want Hades to win because I've been listening to Darren Korb's soundtrack even before Hades was out, because he had been putting out music as it was in early access. Yeah, and it's just such a phenomenal. I mean, I've loved all of his soundtracks. I listen to all 4 of them pretty regularly. So, but I think out of these, I think Remake is the one that wins.
Yeah. Okay. What is next? I'm not muted, am I?
Nope. You sound good to me.
I copy pasted and I push control, which is my mute. Oh my god, best audio design.
Okay, so this is different. So this is best in-game audio and sound design. So we've got Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, The Last of Us Part 2. I really, really wish it had come out in time, because Demon Souls would have fucking annihilated this this category. The sound design in that is just something else.
It's really good, yeah. It's super satisfying. Ghost of Tsushima is like samurai ASMR. But then, like, look, Resident Evil 3, as much as I enjoyed the game, I can't say that it stood out for me.
I don't really remember it for like its exceptional audio design.
Yeah. Last of Us Part 2, you did a whole article on the
I think that's what wins here. Like,
you reckon?
I don't even think it's a competition. Half-Life Alyx is a good game, but I don't think it stands out audio design wise, and the same goes for Doom Eternal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'm with you there.
Easily wins this category.
Now we get to best performance.
I mean, think about The Last of Us Part 2 when you're in the forest and you hear the what are they called? The scars. The first time with that whistle. I mean,
it's jarring as shit.
That alone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have best performance, and
God,
even this category.
This is hard.
Oh my god. Why do we do this to ourselves? Okay, look. Right at the gate, I played Ghost of Tsushima in Japanese.
Wait. So we should say this is best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and performance capture. Yes. And there are 2 Last of Us. So we've got Ashley Johnson as Ellie, Laura Bailey as Abby. I'm going to butcher this name. Daisuke Shuji as Jin Sakai, and then Logan Cunningham as Hades. I like that they had to choose one character because Logan Cunningham voices so many characters in Hades.
Yeah. And then I'm probably butchering this name as well, but Naji Jetta as Miles Morales.
Very good. He was exceptionally good.
So yeah, I played Ghost of Tsushima with the Japanese audio track, so I can't say that I know how Jin was.
I played with the English because it links up with the animation.
Yeah,
I think Jin's very good.
Yeah, I've heard he is good.
Yeah, I think it's very good VO English. It keeps the feel of the character. It doesn't feel like a British voice actor,
Yeah.
Voice acting as a Japanese character. So Logan Cunningham, I think, is phenomenal. He's been the narrator in Bastion. He was the sword in Transistor. I think Hades, he's exceptional as Hades. It just shows his range because it's really, really good. I actually think, to me, the standout voice in Hades is actually Darren Korb, who voices Zagreus. Which is crazy to me because the way he talks and sings sounds nothing like Zagreus.
Nothing the same, yeah. I don't know, but then we've got Ashley Johnson as Ellie and Laura Bailey as Abby, and those were both like standout performances as
I think Laura Bailey wins.
I think Laura Bailey as Abby.
Abby is...
She was actually a really standout character in that game. Yeah,
she is. I mean, Ellie is phenomenal, and Ashley Johnson brings a lot of weight to Ellie. But like Abby through and through is just really the emotional crux of that game. And I think Laura Bailey does a phenomenal job as her. So I think it's between them two, to be honest.
Yeah, I also think so. Like as much as I appreciate Logan Cunningham as Hades, I do think that these two are definitely the ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if either wins, but I think Laura Bailey will win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a rivalry. Just like the game.
Just like the game.
Okay, games for impact. I can't say that I've played... I've played Spiritfarer.
I've only played Spiritfarer out of here, so it's difficult to say.
If you want to throw out just a random guess.
Yeah, so these are thought-provoking games with a pro-social meaning or message. I know a lot of people loved If Found. Got a lot of critics that I follow that I respect who spoke very, very fondly of If Found. Kentucky Route Zero the same way, like it's a game that's been around for many years and finally got concluded this year, so I can see that. Spiritfarer is phenomenal.
It's such a good game.
I think it's just such a clever way of a game that copes with death in a very interesting way. Tell Me Why I haven't played, and Through the Darkest Ages I haven't played. So I don't know. I could see Kentucky Route Zero or Spiritfarer winning here, and I think Kentucky Route Zero is going to win.
Okay. You can take Kentucky. I'm just going with Spiritfarer purely because that's the one I've played.
Fair.
Kentucky.
And we've got Best Ongoing Game, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. So we've got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, or No Man's Sky.
See, it's tricky because like I can't say I've actively played any of these games, but I do know, like just watching from the sidelines, how they've been supported over the year. And like, if I think about it now, off the top of my mind, Fortnite, for example, has Kratos. Which is just like
it's going to be Fortnite. It has to be.
Weirdest thing.
It has to be Fortnite. Like every other game on this list, I can note like a problem. Like Apex Legends continuing going well, but they always have problems with their battle pass. Like people always feel like it's grindy. Destiny 2's latest expansion I don't feel like I've heard the sort of like wave of praise that normally comes with an expansion.
Yeah.
Warzone is Warzone. It's a battle royale. It's cool. It had a cool Halloween event, and No Man's Sky had some cool stuff. They added like the like horror aspect and the living ships, and like they keep continually adding to their game, but I don't think anything's as culturally resonant as Fortnite. Like they just wrapped up their whole Marvel stuff. You said, they got Kratos and the fucking Mandalorian in there now. Like
just the crossover stuff alone, like that's almost incentive enough for people like me who have no intention of playing Fortnite to go like, maybe I
played a game of Fortnite the other day just because I wanted to see the Mandalorian. Like that's the only reason I played it.
Mission accomplished. And can we just take a moment to appreciate that No Man's Sky is here, given that when it launched, it was a hot mess and it got so much flack.
I installed it on my PS5 because I wanted to see that PS5 upgrade, and it's really good. It's smooth. It's beautiful. They've really turned that game around through loads of free content updates. I really don't know how that studio's making money, but
they're doing something.
It's fantastic. I think Fortnite wins this hands down. Not even a question.
I've got my money on Fortnite. Now the next category.
Best Indie for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. So there's games here that I think should be in other categories as well. Like
absolutely.
Like Fall Guys should be.
I'm shocked that Fall Guys hasn't been nominated more because this game
should be in best ongoing. I don't understand why it's not there.
It's lacking definitely.
Spelunky 2 should be in game design, like and direction. I don't know why it's not there. But I think all 5 of these games are phenomenal. You've got
really strong.
Carry On, which I thought was really fun. It's like that monster, the thing simulator. Got Fall Guys, got Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. And you could add on another 5 games to this category. This year for indies has just been outstanding. Really good.
My money though, where's your money? I
Hades.
know where my money is. It's Hades.
There's put it this way, Hades is the only one out of this category that's nominated for Game of the Year as well. So it would make no sense if something else wins here and then it wasn't nominated for Best Game of the Year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has to be Hades.
And again, a lot of these categories are difficult. Like, I'd love to see Fall Guys get some kind of recognition this year.
Same
Even
with Spelunky too.
I haven't played Spelunky, but I know you and others absolutely love it. So, but I mean, that's the point. Game of the Year stuff. It's it's meant to be
meant to be hard. Yeah, I think Hades for sure.
I've just got my money on Hades. Best mobile game. I mean,
so this is weird. So obviously mobile game, but you've got Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, Pokemon Cafe Mix. Now, Among Us I can understand not being nominated elsewhere because it came out actually like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact is weird that it's not nominated elsewhere. Like it's only nominated in Best Mobile. It should also be in Best Ongoing, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because like culturally that game has just been
massive,
huge. I think I think I feel like this is the category where they'd give Among Us an award just because it's Among Us, even though it's not the best experience on a mobile. Yeah. And I think Genshin Impact should win here because it is the same game on mobile and works really well on mobile.
Works really well. Yeah, it's tricky because I hear you on Genshin Impact, but I also feel that I know Among Us came out a while ago, but there are so many people who love this game and played it on mobile.
But that's the thing. I think it's going to bleed into this. It's not really the category. It's like, Among Us is cool. Let's just give it an award. Yeah.
So what are you going with? Genshin or Among Us?
I think Genshin. I think Genshin still holds a good possibility of winning here. Even though my gut is telling me that this is where Among Us wins something.
Yeah. Okay, I've gone with Among Us. Put you down for Genshin.
Fun.
Next category. Best community support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. I mean, I can tell you where my money is here.
So we've got Apex, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant.
I mean,
I think it's a toss-up between Fortnite and Fall Guys.
I really think it's Fall Guys purely because their social media game is like...
Their social media game is on point, eh? Oh my God.
It's like the best. I'd say, like, I honestly think their social media management deserves awards, like, outside of the Game Awards. Like, they really have been on fire with just, like, leading into cultural stuff and just keeping fans engaged. I mean, it's like, just for argument's sake, let's look at their... I'm going to pull up their numbers. So this is just a small indie game, right? With a casual 1.5 million followers on Twitter.
Oh, casual, just casual.
Which is like insane. If you given that, I don't think there are 1.5 million people, not 1.5 million concurrent players in the game, but there are that many people following because the content is just so good. So I don't know. But
their social media, I mean, they've, even if you're not playing the game, you can get excited about like new skins coming to the game because of the way they tease them. There was that whole debacle of the Fall Guy anatomy, which is fucking creepy. But it's like it all comes through community management and social media, and I think they are top notch considering they're an indie studio as well. I think they deserve it. Whether they get it,
I don't know. Are you going with Fortnite again? Fortnite?
I think Fortnite's going to win again.
You think Fortnite? I think Apex also has got a...
Yeah, Apex has a strong chance there.
Pretty strong possibility in this
Fall
category.
Guys should win here.
I think Fall Guys should win. Best VR AR? I know.
Half-Life
I know
Alyx.
your money is.
That's not even a question. Look, you've got Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. If anything but Half-Life Alyx wins here, it would be a crime. Like, there's no VR game that holds a candle to it at the moment.
Yeah, I can't say I've played any of these, but based on what you've said, what others have said, I think Half-Life Alyx will win this.
It has to win this.
And also, fun fact, I did not know that there was a Walking Dead VR game.
Apparently, it's very good. Saints and Sinners is apparently very good. I've heard some great things about it, but Half-Life Alyx is one of the best VR games, or the best VR game I've ever played. So I don't see it losing.
Okay, next category, innovation in accessibility, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. So we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperroot, The Last of Us... is that a D? Sorry, it looked like an O. Hyperdot, The Last of Us Part 2, and Watch Dogs Legion.
It's very cool that firstly this is an award, and also that the games here aren't just indie games. They're, you've got two Ubisoft games, you've got Naughty Dog, and you've got Obsidian. So it shows like big publishers and big developers have finally cottoned onto the fact that there should be settings in games that help them be playable to a wider range of gamers. So that's cool in itself. I think The Last of Us 2 wins here.
I also think, because I think it's almost funny how...
That was it felt like the inflection point. Like people
it feels like that happened and then everyone else followed. Yeah. But I don't know if that's the case because maybe...
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs definitely had it planned already. But like the range of options in, The Last of Us 2, there was a big deal made out of it at launch by people within the community like Steven Spoon. Really praising Naughty Dog for going out of their way. So I definitely think it's that one.
Okay. Next up, oh boy, best action. For the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat, we have Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx 2, Nioh 2, and Streets of Rage 4. So now, I love Hades, and I think Doom Eternal, like I wouldn't say it's like my game of the year, but I can acknowledge that this game does what it does very well. Like it is a pinnacle first-person shooter, particularly in the action department. So for me, it's between Doom Eternal and Hades.
I think Doom Eternal's going to win.
You reckon Doom Eternal?
This is where it wins.
It's so polished, yeah.
I want Hades to win because I think its combat is unreal. And I've heard equally good things about Neo 2, even though I haven't played it. Not sure why Half-Life Alyx is here because, like, yeah, it's a shooter, but it's a VR shooter, so it's still a bit weird and clunky.
It's not like action focused.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't put it at the pinnacle of action games for the year.
Yeah,
but yeah, I would want Hades to win, but I think Doom.
Yeah,
wins
also
here,
Hades is like in my head. I'm like, it's so good, but Doom just does it so well.
This next category is ridiculous. I can't even.
God. Best action/adventure. For the best action/adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. The nominees: Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Remember that game?
Yeah, I remember that
game. The Last of Us Part 2. Oh my gosh, this is a category. Holy hell.
So I think Last of Us is going to win here, but I don't think it should.
Yeah, like I'm with you. So the reason I don't think it should win is purely because, like, if I think of sort of like an open world space of areas you can revisit, again, like, I don't know, The Last of Us to me is like while there are open areas to explore, it's still like a linear pushing you down a tunnel to the end of the game sort of thing. Whereas the others are like that too, but they feel more like far more open, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I don't know why The Last of Us Part 2 is excluded from Best Action. Because I think
that should have been there.
Yeah,
as well,
I think its all combat sandboxes are really cleverly designed, where they almost feel like a scripted like cutscene, but they're not. But at the same time, I agree with you. I don't think that's the core of the game. Like there is puzzle solving.
No. Yeah.
Like the
puzzle
little
solving
rope
is like
puzzle.
throwing a rope.
Yeah, like the tech behind that rope, fucking incredible. Like
Great.
Really incredible. But I wouldn't call it taxing puzzle solving. And really I find the action and the puzzle solving in service of the draw of the game, and that it's narrative. I don't think it's primarily an action game or an adventure game. Fallen Order is good. I still think it's a really good game.
I love Fallen Order, but
I don't think it wins here. Yeah. I don't think Valhalla wins here either. Purely for the reasons we spoke about earlier in the podcast. I think its combat is fine, and I think its stealth is non-existent. So like, I just don't. Sure, the other three though, they are tough. Ghost of Tsushima, Miles, and Ori.
Ori. I mean, personally, I'd love to see Ori win because, like I've said, I feel this game deserves some kind of recognition.
I could see Ori winning here.
I mean, it's so good. Like the traversal and just the combat itself, how they reinvented it for this game, where it's not you just spamming, X, whatever the button is to, shoot your spirit fire, whatever it's called. You literally have like a melee weapon, and you can equip other stuff. I don't know, it's so good. But then, like you've pointed out, Miles Morales, the combat as well.
Yeah, the combat is really so clever.
Good balance of like, building up your I can't remember what it's called, your
Venometer,
your Venometer, and then deploying it to then Ghost of Tsushima is like this intense one-on-one or like 1v many.
Yeah, playing that on lethal mode has really changed my perspective on the combat in the game. And it's really something.
What I think I'd love Ori to win personally, but what I think will win might be, I'm feeling Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I don't know. I haven't played Miles Morales, so I can't, make a case for it.
I think,
but in my head, the traversal and just the exploration in Ghost as well complements the combat so nicely.
I think Miles will win.
But, I don't know.
Put me down for Miles. Yeah, that combat is just something else. It's really.
You know what? I'm gonna put Ori. Screw it.
Go for it.
Ori for the win.
I could see Ori winning. Like if Ori wins, I would not be surprised.
I'd be so chuffed.
I think
it's
knowing the panel of judges and knowing. I mean, if I just look at the nominees, I can kind of see the gist of like what people are kind of getting at here. I think Miles wins for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Best role-playing game. This is a fucking nightmare. This is a nightmare. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. So we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, got Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royale, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I can tell you that I would love Final Fantasy VII Remake to win, but I know you're a Persona 5 fan.
Yeah, Persona 5 Royal is... I mean, it's weird though, because like Persona 5 I feel like had its day in the sun, and Royal is, yes, it's like additional content, but it doesn't change the core of the game. So,
yeah.
Like, and the core of the game is still probably one of the best JRPGs ever made, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm putting my money on Final Fantasy VII Remake. That I think just the fact that they reinvented, they bought that old turn-based system and they made it like live action, basically. If that makes sense. It's like a good combination of the two, where it's still kind of turn-based, but it isn't. It's so fluid. I just love it. But I mean, that's literally the only game I've played from these 5. So
I think that will win, but for the sake of being contrarian, I'm going to put my money on Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yakuza, like I don't know how good that
I don't think, like,
is.
Genshin Impact is cool, but I don't think it's a great role-playing experience.
Yeah.
I don't actually know why it's here.
Because numbers, the damage numbers, that's
but it's
why.
not role... Okay.
I know. Best fighting game. For the best game design primarily around head-to-head combat, we have Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate.
Why is Street Fighter here?
Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows.
You know what irritates me about this category is that it was mentioned on the Bombcast, Giant Bombs podcast, who, you know, they have Jason A. Stryker and Jeff Gertzman, who are big fighting game aficionados. Same with Jan Ochoa and Ben Pack. Like, they follow Evo, they play, you know, they follow the competitive scene. And they were saying that this list is a list made by people who do not follow that scene. And it's 100% true, because there are games here that were on Evo's shortlist, you know, to be played before it was cancelled, that aren't even nominated. Like, come on, man. So dumb.
Yeah,
I don't know why Street Fighter's here. That's all. And One Punch. Like, they're bad games.
But Mortal Kombat 11 also shouldn't be here. Did that come out this year?
No, it's just like the ultimate version of Mortal Kombat. Like, and yeah, Mortal Kombat's fun, but it's like fun for me from a perspective where I'm not even that good at fighting games. I just like the story mode. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I know that Under Night in Birth was at Evo, I think, and that was like an Arxis game that looked really good. I know there was a game, like an indie fighting game called Them's Fighting Herds, which was like My Little Pony, but a fighting game that was going to be at Evo and is apparently really good. Wow. So, like, why is that not here? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I think the one that will win will be Mortal Kombat, just because that's the one that critics have played.
I also think, that's like what critics will vote for.
Yeah, because I don't think the critics have played anything else, to be fairly honest. So, whatever. That category irritates me so much.
So, next up, best family game. For the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform, we have Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, Fall Guys, Ultimate Knockout, Mario Kart Live, Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario, The Origami King.
Animal Crossing is about loans. It's not a family game. No, I'm joking.
It's about loans, but out of this category, I'm like, it's the one that, I don't know.
Home Circuit is seriously the one, though. Like, man, we got to give it something, because that game is fun for like 10 minutes, and then you wonder why you spent 2,500 rand on it.
Oh, Mario Kart.
I appreciate the effort and the thought, and I love the whole like idea of making your own tracks in AR and whatever. But it is, in my view, not worth that the buy-in like at all.
The moolah. I really enjoyed Paper Mario, The Origami King, but I don't see it as a, like, when I think of family game, it's a thing of, you know, it's like parents sitting down playing with their kids, or just families in general playing together. And like Paper Mario is really good, but I don't know, it seems maybe a little bit complex to be sitting down and playing in a family setting. I don't know.
I think Minecraft Dungeons was really good at
like split screen. I mean,
like shade screen, like simplifying the Diablo formula. I mean, Shani got into it. She played a bunch with me.
Yeah,
she was quite enjoying that kind of like rigmarole. So I could see that competing. I could see Fall Guys competing here for sure.
Yeah.
I don't see Crash Bandicoot winning this.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 4 is hard, man. If you make your kids play
hard.
that,
Holy
you're
shit.
a bad parent.
I mean, I can see
parent.
kids playing that, but I just don't see it as a family play game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with Animal Crossing. Like,
yeah, Animal Crossing, like I'm trying to think of things you could play almost together. Like I know that's not what the category is about, but
although I still see it winning just because it's Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's Animal Crossing. That's the thing. Although I hear you with Minecraft Dungeons, that's the thing. Like, hey, get the family together. We're all going to play on the same screen, you know.
And same with Fall Guys, like
Fall
swapping
Guys,
controller.
I guess,
or something like that.
you can, hot swap.
I think Animal Crossing is going to win this category, but it definitely doesn't. It just feels oddly placed here.
It feels a bit oddly placed here.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to go with Animal Crossing. I tend to agree with you, but I'm going to go with.
I feel like there's no category you can put Animal Crossing in, so they just put it in here. You know what I mean? Because they're like, it definitely should be in the Game of the Year category for sure, but like they can't put it under action, they can't put it under role playing, they can't put. So they're like, okay, family game.
Family game.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to just put down Minecraft Dungeons for myself.
Okay.
How many categories do you have left?
Best sim or strategy. There's so few of each that they combined the two. So best game focused on.
Although, wait, before you say that, that's actually incorrect because I was having a chat with John Michael. I was like, because he's been loving Crusader Kings, right? So I was like,
I love his anecdotes.
Don't forget to vote for that game. And he was like, why are best sim and strategy combined? I was like, because there's not enough games. He's like, no, there really are. And he proceeded to like list a bunch. I was like, oh, you're actually right. They are ample for both categories.
I actually think they just combined the two so they could nominate Flat Sim. Because that's the only simulator in this category. So it says best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay. And we've got Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, Flight Simulator, or XCOM Chimera Squad. Now, I'm going to put on my judge's hat and think about the games that the judges actually played. That's definitely not Desperados, definitely not Crusader Kings, or maybe, I don't know. It's Gears Tactics or it's XCOM. Actually,
I don't know. I see Microsoft Flight Sim also coming in here because
could you imagine the fucking scenes? Like, it's a great.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
I'm putting my money there just because in terms of simulation, I know it's the only one in the category.
I'm going to put money on Crusader Kings because I actually do recall there being a lot of hubbub about it during its review embargo lifting.
Okay. I'm going with Flight Sim.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Best sports racing game for the best traditional and non-traditional. I love how they say for the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game because the nominees are Dirt 5, Formula 1 2020, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Tony Hawk wins this.
Tony Hawk's winning this. Like, I'm not even going to... that's why I love that they put their non-traditional sports because it's like, well, we need to make sure Tony Hawk
it's like,
is, you know...
Formula 1 2020 is still the great game that it is every single year, and it definitely deserves more accolades, but it's also Formula 1, so it's extremely niche.
Misses out, yeah.
Dirt 5, I don't think really blew many people away. FIFA's FIFA, NBA is NBA, and I think everyone was like, yeah, Tony Hawk, it's remade, it's pretty good. It's definitely winning that category. Time. Yeah.
Okay. Best multiplayer game for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design.
Why is Animal Crossing?
Massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre platform. So we have Animal Crossing, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, Ultimate Knockout, and Valorant.
Animal Crossing.
When
love visiting islands, but fuck that multiplayer is a mess.
For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Animal Crossing is like very dated.
It has got multiplayer functionality, and that's the best thing I can say about it.
Yeah.
Christ, I hate visiting other people's islands in that game just because I have to deal with the airports. It is so frustrating.
It's so annoying. But
this is Among Us,
Warzone, Ultimate Knockout, Valorant. I think Valorant's great, but I don't think it stands up against Among Us and Fall Guys in this category. Although, like, Warzone's Warzone. It's got a big player base. People love it.
Warzone's Warzone. I think it's Fall Guys and Among Us here, and I think this is, if they haven't awarded Among Us anything yet, this is where they get an award in, yeah.
I think it has to be Among Us.
Yeah.
I'm also going with Among Us.
I think this is the last two before we get to esports, which we will skip.
Which we can just skip. What content creator of the year?
Yeah,
and best debut game.
I
mean,
this feels weird now because Alana Pierce isn't a content creator anymore. She's been hired as a writer at Sony Santa Monica, so odd.
I mean, that was a recent thing though. So
she did a lot of content. I mean, she has been a phenomenal content creator for years now that I've followed. So I personally, I really like her. I do know that I only learnt of Tim the Tatman this year because of Fall Guys, and watching him get that first win was kind of amazing. It was really something else.
I've known of Tim the Tatman purely because of his engagements with Dr. Disrespect.
Okay.
Like they've got they're friends, whatever. So they often pop up in each other's streams, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the only people I actually know in this category, like you said, Alana Pierce and Tim the Tatman. I don't know who J. Ann Lopez is. I don't know Valkyrie. I've heard of Valkyrie, but I don't know what she does. And Nick Merckx I've heard of, but I don't know what he does.
Yeah, I don't know any of those three, so I can't really speak to them. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think Alana might.
I think Alana will win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alana's very popular, so I'm
pretty sure cool that she got a job at
Sony Santa Monica. Yeah, as a writer. Very cool. She's living the dream, man. Australian, going to America, worked for IGN, then worked for Rooster Teeth, now writing at a game studio. Seems cool.
Yeah. Best debut game.
So for the best debut game created by an independent studio, so we've got Carrion, got Mortal Shell, Raji and Ancient Epic, Roki, or Phasmophobia.
I mean, it's
Phasmophobia, isn't it?
I would think Phasmophobia purely because of like the cultural impact, the fact that it was like part of the zeitgeist for a good while, and I think it still is in some regard. I think Mortal Shell's great because it's a Souls-like that made by an independent studio.
And pretty good apparently.
Yeah, apparently it's really good. But I think Phasmophobia, just because it's been spoken about plenty.
Yeah, I think that's what wins as well. Yeah, I really like Carrion, but it did feel like I've played it. It was cool, and then it left my mind not long after that.
It just left. Okay, so Phasmophobia for that, and the rest are it's esports. Not gonna
fuck that shit. Okay, last one, Game of the Year.
Game of the Year,
because we are approaching 2 hours.
Okay, so this is game that we think will win, not what we want to win.
Yeah, although I will give what I want to win.
I know what you want to win.
Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. We've got Doom Eternal. Not sure what that's a. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, The Last of Us Part 2. So, I would trade Doom Eternal for Half-Life Alyx here, but that's just me.
What wins though? What wins? So I know what you would want to win. I won't say it unless you.
I actually think what I want to win will win. Hades. I actually do think it will win. Yeah.
I also can see it being an absolute surprise, standing up against these other games. Like, I almost think that The Last of Us Part 2 will walk away with it purely because...
I think it's between those two, to be fairly honest.
Yeah, because The Last of Us Part 2 is shit. Like, it is a technical marvel and a phenomenal game, like, hands down. Animal Crossing, it's funny, I wouldn't be surprised if this also just came out of nowhere to win purely because it's Animal Crossing and it hits at the right time.
Yeah, that's also true. It touched a lot of people in a way, that I guess even Nintendo didn't expect.
It's so funny because I was talking to Lenska about choosing Game of the Year, and I spoke about this category specifically, and I said I've been very fortunate that this year I've actually played every game, and then I started listing out why I enjoy all of these games, and by the end of it is like, but which one wins? Like, which one do you actually choose? Like, I can tell you, okay, Doom Eternal's probably the weaker entry for me. Like, while I enjoyed it, I can acknowledge it's, like I said earlier, it's a pinnacle first-person shooter. It does what it does very well.
Yeah.
Like, it's an all-out injection of, like, pure action. What I also enjoyed, but I don't think will win, is Ghost of Tsushima. I can appreciate it for what it did. Really good open-world game. It looks beautiful. The art style we've said is just, it's so colorful and vivid, and it's really beautiful to look at and play. But then I'm left with like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which, like I've said in this podcast plenty times when I played it back in the day, a couple of months ago, it's like they took one of my favorite childhood games and they didn't just remake it. They like really, really from the ground up just did everything so perfectly. Like from the cinematics to the combat, it's just perfect. Like I absolutely love this game.
Yeah.
But then we move on to Hades, and I'm like, Hades up within, I don't know, a month or 3 weeks, I put 60 hours into this game. I did however many runs, and I just could not stop playing it, and I'm still itching to go back and play it. The only reason I've stopped is because I had other review games come in, you know. Animal Crossing, it's Animal Crossing. Like we said, it came out at the right time, and it was such a thing of like, hey, I'm going to wake up every morning, just quickly do some stuff before work. Okay, cool. Let me check my turnip prices. Shit, it's a bad price. Let me see if anyone else has good prices.
For months we were doing that, yeah.
Yeah, like it was for a long time. We were playing Animal Crossing, and I did put 100+ hours into this game where it's literally you just designing your island. Like ultimately, there's no real purpose other than you just creating a happy space for yourself, you know? And then The Last of Us Part 2 is just, I mean, we've spoken about it at length on this podcast and before. It's like it's a milestone in games and what they can be. Like it not only told the story, it did it on the PlayStation 4, which is like a 7-year-old console, and it made a game look this good.
Yeah.
Like it's unreal that this game exists today. So I don't know. It's such a hard choice.
It is. It is a hard choice.
For them.
There's definitely space for more games in this category. I think
for sure.
Limiting it to 6 is like hard. Okay,
but you're going with Hades.
Yeah, I'm going with Hades, but I think Last of Us 2 could win. But I think Hades will win. I think it would be the feel-good story of the show.
Yeah, I must say, having played the game and watched the No Clip documentary, I would love for Hades to win, because it is, and not to take away from any of the other shooters by any means, but the fact that Hades is like, it's made by Supergiants, who for years now have made really good games, but they've never
hit that mainstream.
Sort of broken the mainstream, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Hades feels like that's the game to really put them on the map. People will play it and go, shit, what are they working on next? And I think it would be such a good story for them to win Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, no, I think it would be, yeah, it would just be a great end to the year, and I think because like so many critics also jumped on it, I think it has a strong chance.
Yeah. I don't know if I should put my money there though. I said this like I've bet my house on this. Like shit, what am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna go for like another. It's not really like a left field whatever, but I think Animal Crossing does have a chance of surprising a lot of people. I think it would piss off a lot of hardcore gamers if it won.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, what's this indie game nonsense? Like, you know.
But I just think, given the struggle that was 2020 and how Animal Crossing, like I think people look at this list will go, cool, I loved all these games, but Animal Crossing was like at the peak of lockdown, and it helped me connect with friends in different ways. So I don't know. I think it's a real gamble, but I'm going to go with Animal Crossing.
Okay. I could see it as well. It would again also be the same thing, just like, yeah, what a feel good, way to end the year. So yeah.
But yeah, to find out what I want to be Game of the Year, you just have to, where my vote is, you're going to have to wait a week.
Wait a whole week. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.